On behalf of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University, I extend a warm welcome to the chief guest of today's function, Sri Richard D'Souza, retired Principal Chief Conservator of Forest and Head of the Forest Department, Government of Goa, the Dean of School of Biological Sciences, Professor Savita Kerkar, the Vice Dean, Professor Krishnan Sir, distinguished delegates, eminent scientists, faculty, and all of you present here to the National Conference on Animal Sciences, Integrated Solutions for Sustainability, to be held from 1st March to 3rd March 2023. Research approaches towards animal sciences have been amalgamated with various scientific disciplines to achieve sustainable development. As researchers, we have perceived the necessity for a crucial paradigm shift towards an interdisciplinary approach. Over the next 3 years, we will be enlightened by a number of eminent scientists, professors, and young researchers from the field of life sciences and other disciplines who would be giving us a holistic view about the integrated research approach for sustainable development in the field of animal sciences. To begin the inaugural ceremony, I request the organizing secretaries of the conference, Dr. Shamshad Sheikh and Dr. Avelino De Costa, to kindly escort the chief guest, Sri Richard de Souza, and the Dean of School of Biological Sciences, Professor Savita Kerkar, to the dais. To begin the eventful inaugural ceremony, the students of MSc Zoology of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University, would like to welcome the delegates and distinguished guests with a Saraswati Vandana.
Hello. 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 शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना निप्रकाशाकडे जीवना निप्रकाशाकडे जीवना वेद विद्यावती दे आम्हा सन्मती वेद विद्यावती दे आम्हा सन्मती हीच चरणी तुझ्या प्रार्थना शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना हे तुझे रूप वीणावती शुभ्र कमळावरी शोभते या तुझ्या कुंडलांची प्रभा चंद्र सूर्यासमते जाळते चंद्र सूर्यासमते जाळते हे जगत स्वामिनी तूच संजीवनी हे जगत स्वामिनी तूच संजीवनी दे आम्हाला चेतना शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना शब्द प्रत्येक आहे तुझा तूच आहेस वागेश्वरी सूरलय ताल रूपे तुझी तूच साक्षात रागेश्वरी तूच साक्षात रागेश्वरी शब्द सौंदर्य तू नाद माधुर्य तू शब्द सौंदर्य तू नाद माधुर्य तू हीच हृदयातली भावना शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना, ने प्रकाशाकडे जीवना, ने प्रकाशाकडे जीवना. वेद विद्यावती दे आम्हा सन्मती, वेद विद्यावती दे आम्हा सन्मती. हीच चरणी तुझ्या प्रार्थना, शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना, शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना, शारदे पूर्ण कर कामना.
Thank you, Divya, Krupa, Sonal, Pratana, Navita, Mayuri, Amisha, and Akshada for leading us into a prayerful and peaceful mood. As a token of love and gratitude from the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University, I now request the Dean, Professor Savita Kerkar, to welcome the chief guest, Sri Richard D'Souza, with a floral basket. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. Avelino da Costa to present a floral basket to the Dean, Professor Savita Kerkar. Thank you, Dr. Avelino. I request Ms. Gandhita Kundekar, Assistant Professor at the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University, to present a floral basket to Dr. Avelino and Dr. Shamshad. I now request the Dean of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Professor Savita Kerkar, to kindly welcome the gathering.
Thank you, Dr. Samantha. A very big welcome to all of you. These days we are having a big marathon of functions every day. So you can see the intricacies in which our students work. I mean, the hall is decorated so well. I should congratulate all the students of zoology for all their creativity. And this creativity makes you feel very fresh in the morning. I mean, it's very beautiful to even see the back. I didn't see the backdrop over there, but it's beautiful. So congratulations to all of you for all the enthusiasm. Okay, so on behalf of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, I welcome all of you for this conference on animal sciences today. We have a very eminent person who's contributed a lot to Goa, I welcome Mr. Richard D'Souza today. And he's been the only Goan chief conservator of forest. And all of us know that Goa is a small state in terms of area, but it's recognized internationally as a big biodiversity hotspot with 33% of area under the government forest. And the forest and the tree area constituted more than 50% of the geographical area. And we must thank Mr. Richard D'Souza and his colleagues in the forest department for this achievement. So I think he deserves a big welcome with a big clap for being here with us today. So I welcome all my colleagues, all the vice deans, and our previous faculty of zoology, as well as we have the ex-vice chancellor of Ajmer University here with us and other invited speakers. So welcome all of you for this, and I hope you have a very good interaction. So the earth belongs to all flora and fauna, and human beings comprise a very small share of life on this earth, and we are only 0.01%, and 2.5% of animal biomass. And yet, we are 100% responsible for all the environmental disasters of this planet. So we are just 1.01% here, but responsible for 100% of the environmental disasters on this planet. And we have to rethink our role in projecting and respecting all these life forms on Earth. We have to protect these life forms, and we have to be aware that there should be a coexistence of life here so that the natural balance is maintained. The acceptance of the right of other animals to live has been a subject of Indian thought and much before the Christian era. The Jain philosophy even preached that cleaning, sweeping of the road before we walk on it, so that we don't even kill an ant and we don't step on an ant or kill any sort of life. Mahatma Gandhi also suggested another test for civilization. He said that the greatness of a civilization can be measured on how animals are treated by human beings. I'm very glad that in this conference there will be a lot of brainstorming on issues concerning preservation of the environmental balance and mutual coexistence of all life forms. I myself, I'm a marine microbiologist, and I'm very concerned about the plastic pollution in the marine environment. And every year, more than 14 million tons of plastic ends up in the ocean. And the marine species ingest or are entangled by the plastic debris, which causes several injuries and death. The fishermen on our coast have to spend hours every day removing plastics from their nets. We are discussing these issues on this occasion, and I would like to point out that Goa is the first state in the country where rabies has been eradicated. And this is a great achievement in science. Great advances are happening in biomimetics, which will be a subject of my talk in this conference. And it's important that we watch the animals and the birds with a loving eye of empathy, as well as a keen scientific eye. There's a lot to learn from them, and just a few weeks ago, I watched this documentary, which is My Octopus Teacher. I don't know if you have seen it. If you haven't, you have to see this film. It's very beautiful. It's a very moving documentary, a real story of an empathetic relationship between Craig, who's the videographer of this and the author, and an octopus. And I hope this conference will spread its tentacles of our understanding of the animal kingdom. And I welcome all of you once again to Goa University and this conference, and hope all of you go back with big bundles of love to all the animals, for all the animals around you. Thank you very much and welcome once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the lovely, warm welcome and an insightful thought. I'm sure all of us are excited about the conference after ma'am's welcome. Light expels darkness and is a symbol of purity, knowledge, and guidance. To mark an auspicious start to this conference, we shall now have the lighting of the traditional lamp. I invite our honorable chief guest, along with the other dignitaries on the dais, to kindly light the lamp. Thank you all for inaugurating the function. and the conference by lighting of the traditional lamps. Has been graced by the participation of eminent scientists, faculty members, research scholars, and students across India. The abstracts received for the oral and poster presentations have been compiled in an abstract book. I now request our esteemed dignitaries to kindly release the abstract book of the conference. Thank you all. I now request Dr. Nitin Sawant, the Program Director of Zoology Discipline of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, to kindly introduce the chief guest to the gathering.
A very good morning to one and all, and welcome all of you. Uh, Respected Chief Guest, Sir Richard D'Souza, our Dean, Madam Savita Kerkar, my colleagues, all my, I would say, our ex HODs and our guide for bringing this department to this level. Professor Roy, Professor Shama, Professor Pai sir, Professor Krishnan sir, who is a vice dean here, and my, uh, I would say if he agrees, I would say my friend from Rajasthan, Sir Sharma, and all my dear students. Many of us might not know the person who is sitting, who is a son of this soil, and it is my privilege and my pleasure to introduce such a wonderful man. Maybe most of us don't know his contribution to our country and our state, rather, in very specific, because I never had a trouble when he was a PCCF, highest position in the forest cadre in the state of Goa. He is of course from the Ogmi cadre, but he has served as a principal chief conservator of forest in Goa. So let me have a privilege to introduce Sir. Sir has done his diploma in community development studies from University of UK in 1995. He has done his Masters of Science in University of Lucknow in April 1976. Sir has also been a student at Prime University in the subject of geology. I would Sir has 14 years of experience working in the sphere of forestry, uh, such as plantation, sawmill milling, wildlife and ecotourism area, pollution control, and coastal zone management, etc. And he has a strong interpersonal and management skills acquired through varying and diverse positions. He has been instrumental in writing three management plans of the protected areas in Andaman and Nicobar Island, which is a great contribution. And till date, the management of Andaman and Nicobar Island is working on the management plan which Sir has drafted for. He has wrote also a book on mangroves of Goa, the first book which was published. Uh, then he has also formulated a policy for conservation and sustainable use of red sandal in the government of India. So he has several achievements, honors and achievement. He has secured a second position in a order of merit in a Lucknow University in a MSc in geology program. He was instrumental in writing a management plan for national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, and was instrumental in declaring one of the Marine National Park, and 2 wildlife sanctuaries in the Andaman and Nicobar Island during his tenure as a chief wildlife warden. He was instrumental in declaring 2 wildlife sanctuaries in Goa, where we see Netravali and Wildlife Sanctuary is his gift today, and he is instrumental in. And that time, of course, the government was not in power, and the governor had powers in his hand. And during that particular period, I feel we should really give a big loud of applause for such a great contribution. Otherwise, we would have not seen these sanctuaries today in Goa. So Netravali and Madhe Wildlife is Sir's gift today for that, for Goa actually. So he has been uh, he was instrumental also in sorry he was a president of YMCA Andaman Nicobar Island 1990 to 1997. He has received a very important Wildlife Service Award 2012 from Sanctuary Asia, which is a very, very great achievement. And he's outstanding for his outstanding contribution in wildlife conservation. He has compiled books on flora and fauna, Kaboraj Nivas, where I was a part of it, and it was his efforts where I could interact directly with one of our chancellor, ex-chancellor, Sir Vanchu sir, who with whom I used to go for a photography in our Raj Bhavan, and it is because of sir whom we have come out with the glimpses of flora and fauna in Raj Bhavan those days. And not only that, I have gotten privilege to work with sir very closely. Even now, I hope I can announce that with his permission, he is holding a very important position right now. He might be retired, but Goa government has entrusted a very important work where right now the major issue of Goa is Madhe River diversion, where Sir is a nodal officer appointed by the government of Goa and by the court. So, of course, I think we have a very important person who has been contributing. And I never called any minister. I used to just call him, sir, this is the problem in wildlife sanctuary. So just help me. So he used to just send his people and help me. And during his tenure, I remember not a single tree was cut, and that was a great, and he's one of the upright officer, and for which he has also paid a price for several years. He was not been given a major positions in Goa because he is very sincere. He believe in work. Many of the bureaucrats I have seen, but one of the bureaucrat which even I think I invited him just day before yesterday. I said, sir, we want a chief guest, and he has willingly accepted our invitation. So I thank him for that, his humbleness, and he's down to earth and attitude. And I think we have a great person here for inaugurating this particular workshop or seminar. So I once again welcome all of them, and of course all my senior, I would say, colleagues for being a part of this. I think Professor Roy sir, Professor Sharma sir, Professor Pai, and within no time I have seen almost I think 8 HODs in the department after I joined. So, and now, now luckily I have a very good, loving dean, and I'm going to lose her also in July probably, and we are lose in the sense in the department we will certainly miss her. So I thank all my colleagues, the present colleagues, Dr. Evelino, Dr. Samshad, Dr. Shanti, Dr. Minal, and of course Dr. Gandita and Preeti Parera, who is not here, and of course Samantha, who is always doing our great work. Sir, you're welcome, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Nitin. It is indeed a pleasure to have our chief guest amongst us today. I now invite Honorable Chief Guest of today's function, Sri Richard D'Souza, to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning, friends. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Savita and her team for having called me here to grace the occasion. Because when Nitin came to my house and said, "Sir, you have to be the chief guest," I can never refuse Nitin because wherever I wanted him, he has been helping me in the field work aspect of whatever I want to do. The writing part I do, the field aspect he does. So, first of all, and Savita has been associated with us when I was in service in the Coastal Zone Management Authority. She has been the pillar from whose shoulder we used to fire the guns, and she used to demolish and order demolition of many a structure during her tenure, because of which both she and me both used to face the flak. We thank Dr. Alonso Da Costa and Dr. Shamshad for having be here. As a PCCF of the state during my short tenure in Goa, though I belong to Goa, but for most of my tenure, 17 years, I have worked in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Andaman is a very fascinating destination from the point of view of biodiversity, flora, fauna, endemism, and it is a gold mine for people and students from here if they could get to work in the Andamans, especially the coral reefs and the rainforest. Of late, you would have heard that the Great Nicobar area is out for being made into a very big port, which the government wants to have a shipping lane, and some 2.5 lakh trees are likely to be cut. I'm sorry to say that some of our own colleagues have let us down. When I was Chief Wildlife Warden, I had declared the Galatia Bay as a sanctuary just 2 days before I left for my posting to Goa on transfer. Being in the AGMO cadre, I am supposed to work all over the country, Arunachal, Mizoram, Goa, and all the union territories. That file was left on the table as it is, and the administration de-notified it. Had it been gazetted, it would have never happened today. Now, a group of officers and all are approaching the NGT in the first instance and may later on go to the Supreme Court also to make sure that this biodiversity hotspot, which is famous for the giant leatherback turtle. I have personally seen giant leatherback turtles huge, this big, laying eggs 200, 300 eggs at a time. I have taken the Queen of Thailand to Great Nicobar and showed her where the nesting takes place. And she has seen and photographed everything. It is a mind boggling area. Of course, during the tsunami, much of the area has been under subsidence. And Indira Point, which was earlier Pygmalion Point, has now gone 300 meters into the sea. That is as far as Andamans were concerned. Thereafter, I came after 17 years to Goa. I was not accepted in Goa because the government of the day preferred to have some outsider rather than an insider. So, like Dr. Nitin said, for most part of the tenure, they sidelined me. I have no grudges. I had decided to work in the country. You post me wherever you want. You can post me to Timbuktu also, I'll work. I worked. And somehow, during election time in 98, 99, there was a proposal that Goa for Goans. That is when people got together and fired the government. Where is your Goan who came to report for duty as CF here? At that time, I was conservator of forest. Quickly, they modified the order and sent me. By that time, I had gone to Andamans. I said, go to hell. If Goa doesn't want me, at least I'll stay in Andamans because the governor did want to release me from Andamans. But then I joined, and like Nitin said, I called a spade, like Savita called spade a spade. And then I decided, fortunately, that there was president's rule. Governor Jacob was there, everybody knows. He asked me, can we do something for the forest of Goa? I said, yes, sir. We will do it for you. Can we make Madai something? I said, let me do some homework. I need some survey numbers, some documents, some assessment of flora, fauna before we can declare. And we got to declare Madai as a sanctuary. And before that, I asked His Honorable Excellency, sir, we would like to have another Netravali before you relinquish charge as from President's rule. We managed to do that also in quick time. And I made it a point to notify it. Because unless you don't gazette it, government of the day will de-notify it immediately. And that is precisely what happened in Galatia. Now, this notification was made foolproof. All my successors who came, all wanted to de-notify it from time to time, right from the MLAs of those areas to down the line in the forestry department. But till date, nobody has been able to de-notify, and nobody will be, because in 2005 the Supreme Court has given a judgment that not a blade of grass can be touched from sanctuaries and parks. So that's saved the sanctuary. And now for the very same sanctuary, they are fighting for the water by naming the sanctuary. See the contradictory and the hypocrisy. One side you wanted to de-notify, the other side you want to uh, say that the water will spoil the sanctuary. Wisdom has prevailed over the present dispensation, and they made me an expert on the Madhai sanctuary, and I hope to do my best. And of course, I have told Dr. Nitin I may require your help to do some field work because of the pain in my leg. I may not be able to do climbing up. So he said, okay, I will help from time to time. So that is far as Madhai goes. And Goa, unfortunately or fortunately, is blessed with a very good biodiversity, right? From the ghats to the hinterland to the sun and sand and the sea. We need to protect. The endemism is very high, the bird diversity is very high, the amphibian and reptilian diversity is very high. It is a storehouse for people and students like you to work. You should make all out effort somehow to do your best for the state of Goa. There are outsiders who come and go. They have no love for Goa. Goa is just, for them, is just like a picnic. You enjoy a 3 or 10 year and you go. But you and we have to be here. We need to protect the water and the soil regime of the state. Because if we do not protect, the mining lobby will finish the area. I remember one mining magnate who was a friend of mine. He said, "Why did you declare the sanctuary?" I said, "Why?" I said, "You need to protect the soil and the water regime." He said, "What about the mines?" He said, "No, we want to mine." I said, "You mean to say you want to mine the whole hill?" He said, "Yes." Can you see the audacity of the man? That he wants to mine the whole ghats? What will happen to you? All you, I said, this fellow will take all his loot and stay abroad. We will be facing the flag with no water. We will starve. As it is, Goa gets 100 inches of rainfall, yet there is a shortage of water. I have been to Cyprus. Some of you may have been. It is a small area. One fourth is occupied by Turkey. You know how much rainfall Cyprus gets? 19 inches in the Troodos mountain. And not a single drop of water goes into the sea. The population of Cyprus is 5 million. The tourist population of Cyprus is 6 million. Can you imagine 19 inches of rainfall sustaining 6 million population? And you have 100 inches of rainfall and yet you're crying for water. This is the sad irony of it. So, my dear friends, delegates, don't want to take much of your time. We hope you do and come out with something worthwhile for all of us so that not only Goa, but the whole country stands protected. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Sir Richard, for giving us an insight and sensitizing us about the urgency of protecting the land and water of Goa and India. It is indeed a privilege to have a respectable and experienced person with us here today. Thank you, sir. As a token of our love, gratitude, and respect, today we would like to felicitate our chief guest with the conference memento. I request Professor Savita Kerkar ma'am to kindly felicitate our chief guest. Thank you, ma'am. This event would not have been possible without the help of many people. I now invite the organizing secretary of the conference, Dr. Shamshad Sheikh, to propose the vote of thanks.
Respected Shri Richard D'Souza, chief guest of today's function, uh, convener Professor Savita Kerkar, my co-organizing secretary Dr. Avelino Di Costa, Professor Krishnan, Vice Dean, Research, School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, our former heads, Department of Zoology, and my teachers, Professor Sharma, Professor Aikipai, and Professor Roy, all the dignitaries, delegates, attendees, my colleagues, and students, very good morning to all. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. I, on behalf of organizing committee, would like to thank the chief guest of today's function, Shri Richard D'Souza, IFS, retired Chief Conservator of Forests, Government of Goa, for accepting our invitation and gracing these functions with his presence. Thank you, sir. I convey deep regards and hearty thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal Menon, in absentia. I am also thankful to Registrar Professor V.S. Nadkarni and Finance Officer Dr. Vanita Gowde in absentia. They helped us in obtaining the necessary administrative approvals and supported us in organizing the conference. My special thanks to our convener of the conference, Professor Savita Kerkar, Dean School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, for her constant help, encouragement, and guidance that radiated a source of energy within us. She supported us in all possible manner in organizing this conference. Thank you, ma'am. I also like to thank our co-conveners, Professor S.K. Krishnan, Vice Dean Research, and Professor Sanjeev Ghadi, Vice Dean Academic, School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University, for their for constantly providing support and guidance. I also thank all my colleagues, Dr. Nitin Sawant, Program Director, MSc Zoology, Dr. Minal Desai Shirodkar, Dr. Shanti Desai, Program Director, PGDC, GMLT, Ms. Gandita Kundaikar, and Dr. Preeti Pereira for their active involvement and support in organizing this conference. I also thank our former HODs of zoology, Senior Professor S.K. Sharma, Professor I.K. Pai, and Professor R. Roy for joining us and gracing this occasion by their presence. I am very thankful to all the organizing committee members and the invited speakers. Words are not enough to thank their constant guidance and support to shape the conference. I would like to thank all the delegates who blessed us with their presence. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated student volunteers. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. If time is money, then today you have spent millions for us. Thanks to all of you for making this event successful. Yeah. I also like to thank the DDLI team for live streaming and recording the conference. Have a wonderful staying in Goa and enjoy the 3 days of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shamshad. With this, we come to the end of the inaugural function. I request all of you to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
to kindly escort the chief guest of today's function and the dean of the days. We will now have a short tea break at the cafeteria, requesting all the delegates to go up to the cafeteria and be back within half an hour. We will start the keynote address, the next session, the first session, at 11:45.